Hello everyone. Let's talk about what we need to do for Lesson 8. We look in our instructions on Blackboard for Lesson 8. We see we're going to talk a little bit about positioning and then talk about divs and tables. Our work from this week was actually based on the work from last week. The instructions were at the bottom of Lesson 7, so hopefully you got a nice head start. All we need to do for the delivery for this week is to create a simple navigation bar and then make it a more attractive styled menu bar. You want to add some color, add some effects perhaps, make it something that looks nice and lets people easily see what button they are clicking on using the techniques from the chapters in Lesson 7. When you're done with that, you're going to put that same menu bar on all the pages. It's easiest to do this in Code View or in Visual Studio Code. Just copy and paste the entire menu bar to each page. Make sure you're linking to the same CSS file. All your menu bar styling should be in an external CSS file, and make sure that that is added to every page. You can do that in Dreamweaver. You can use the link tab in HTML. And then once you have that consistent on all the pages, you're going to zip up your entire portfolio project the way it stands now and upload it. So you're going to, the easiest way to do that is to just zip that entire folder. If you've correctly been following along, you will have created your site in its own individual site folder, which will have an assets folder that should have your images. I said CSS in an asset folder. That's the way that my preference is. I think of CSS and scripts as being assets if you have an asset folder. A lot of you are going to have that in your main folder. The point is we need all your files so that when I unzip and look at your file, I see your entire site. Remember, at this point, it's totally okay if a lot of your site is roughed out. It should have some coloring, it should have brand colors, it should have a consistent banner or heading across the top of most of the pages. It needs to have that menu bar on all the pages. One of the pages needs to have lists. It should have some pictures, but a lot of your content may be kind of sketched out. It may be a little short for what you want. Some of you may even still have some lorem ipsum in there. That is not problematic. This is a design portion of your delivery. The idea of this class, as I've hopefully said before, is that we want to build all of our skills and learn what it is that we can do, but actually designing and making things attractive in CSS takes some time. It takes some practice, it takes some experimenting. There are 9 ways to do most things, and you have to find what works best for the way that you are thinking about the problems. You may need to ask for help. You may need to go to the ILC to get it to look the way that you want. But the way this works is you're going to turn it in now that we've learned the skills. Next week, we're going to upload it. And then the 10th lesson, we're going to upload it again in a different way. And then you have several weeks to just sit there and work on your project before we get to the review with the final project. When we get to the final project review, hopefully by that point, you have improved a lot and have an idea of what you want your website to actually look like, and you'll have several unpressured weeks in there to make improvements. After you have delivered this, go ahead and read about positioning objects with CSS and tables. I'm going to talk about divs in a separate video, and I'm going to talk about tables in a separate video. And then take a look at your current landing page, your index.html, your home page, your home landing page, and take a screenshot once where it's being viewed at full desktop size and one at mobile browser size, and then answer the questions. Why is it important to have responsive design? What do you think your visitors will be looking at your website on? Does it look good at that size? What needs to change about your website to improve its appearance? Now, some of you ask me questions, do we have to have mobile and desktop size? You don't. You can answer honestly, hey, it looks good. No, it doesn't look good. We're working on comprehension and identifying these situations. We're not forcing you to do it Right. This is supposed to be something that you like, and hopefully you've been following some of the design tips and designing small and then making things bigger. Um, but if you haven't been, that is not the end all be all. We just want to make sure that you have identified no, there's plenty of room for improvement.